Social media is our constant companion. It keeps us, at best, connected or entertained, even helps us find love. But have you ever stopped to think how it's reshaping our desires, our expectations, and even our identities with regard to intimacy and relationships? Everything from how we flirt to what we believe attraction standards should be, from dating trends gone viral to the myth of a perfect love story. We consume it all day and are being affected by it. Most times, reality could not be farther away. So, is social media upping our love lives or distorting our perception of intimacy? About to deep dive into this highly captivating topic, and you won't want to miss what we find out, so stick around. Hello and welcome back, everyone. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into human psychology and behavior. Social media changed everything in our lives, but the changes it brings about to our romantic and sexual relationships bear special interest. Do we create illusions regarding real life due to things we read on social media? Are dating apps making life easier for relationships or complicating them? And what about validation on social media? How does this affect self-esteem and love and attraction? Think about it. How many times do you find yourself comparing your love life to that perfect Instagram couple? Have dating apps changed the way you approach relationships? Are we chasing an ideal that doesn't even exist? Today we are breaking it all down. Let's get into it. Goodbye to love letters in the hand and nervous first phone calls. Now, a simple "hey" in the DMs can be the start of something special or totally meaningless. Dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge have revolutionized how we meet, connect, and even define relationships. Gone are the days when we rely on chance encounters at coffee shops or mutual introductions. Our next romance is just a swipe away. But what does this mean for human sexuality? Fact: digital communication has deepened emotional intimacy before physical intimacy, studies have shown. Many find it easier to talk about their desires via text, voice note, and even emojis instead of in-person conversations. Now consider, isn't text messaging a carefully thought-out craft, an explosion of sentimentality, even an intimacy almost impossible to produce face-to-face? That middle-of-the-night, good-night text message, every bit as evocative, probably as emotionally potent as the whispered word of goodnight itself. At least for many of us, texting makes digital closeness safer, less exposure than instant vulnerability to others. Room to think through things, reaction time, chance to compose just the right yourself and press send. But with this convenience comes an unintended side effect: the rise of ghosting. When connections are as easy to make as they are to break, people become disposable. A single swipe, an unanswered text, and just like that, you're left on red. Fact: according to many studies, nearly 50% of online daters have been ghosted, and such an experience can lead to psychological impacts, including a blow to self-esteem and rejection. Commitment begins to feel optional with endless options at our fingertips. Why settle when there's always another potential match just one swipe away? Others say that digital intimacy is making relationships disposable and that the culture of swiping encourages short-term thrills over long-term commitment. Others see it as an evolution of modern love, adapting to a digital world we are now living in. Have you ever been ghosted or alternatively ghosted someone yourself? How did it feel? Let me know in the comment below. I'd love to hear your experiences. So, what do you think? Has digital intimacy helped us express ourselves better or made relationships ephemeral? Let the discussion continue. Ever find yourself scrolling through Instagram and going, "Gosh, it really looks like nobody is having a bland, ho-hum love life out there"? What about me? Social media isn't just a medium of connection. It's a stage and elaborately curated highlight reel of where love is effortless, passion is always picture perfect, and beauty follows impossible standards. But what happens when we measure our own relationships, or even our own bodies, by these polished illusions? Fact: exposure to highly constructed images of relationships and physical attractiveness on social media may be blurring the lines for our perception of normal or desirable. This is known as social comparison theory, the psychological tendency to compare ourselves to others. And when those others are filtered, photoshopped, and staged to perfection, It's no wonder why so many people struggle with body image, self-worth, and even how they view attraction. Fact: a study found that those who frequently compare themselves to others on social media report higher levels of dissatisfaction with their bodies and relationships. Think about it. We see couples gifting each other their most expensive wishes, posting great romantic acts, and celebrating their perfect anniversaries with fireworks and handwritten love letters. And then slowly, we begin to believe that this is how love should be: flawless, easy, and always passionate. And when our own relationships fall short of these ideals, when things are ordinary or require hard work, we might begin to wonder if something is wrong. The truth is that real relationships are not Instagram stories. They demand communication, effort, patience, and compromise. The love which lasts is not built upon likes and shares, but trust and understanding. Tip: the next time you feel like your love life does not measure up to what others have online, remind yourself that social media is a highlight reel, not real life. Do you ever feel like social media makes you doubt your own relationships or self-worth? Discuss it with me in the comments below. If you're enjoying this deep dive, be sure to like and subscribe, because up next, we're exposing how social media has redefined commitment in the digital age. Stay tuned. Let's talk about the elephant in the room: explicit content on social media. It wasn't any secret that Twitter, OnlyFans, and Reddit, amongst others, became places to freely express and experiment with one's sexuality, even commodify it. Tube sites were already out there, which had rigid restrictions on what to do. But with social media, these lines are obviously blurred, and access is so much easier than ever. But what does this say about our attitude to intimacy and relationships? Online explicit content has been shown in studies to increase, leading to real-world sexual expectations, at times perpetuating unrealistic views on intimacy, attraction, and relationships. And it can begin to redefine what we think of as normal in the bedroom and beyond, when explicit content is everywhere. The more we see, the more we may internalize some expectations about what's attractive, about performance, even about relationship dynamics. Expectations that don't always reflect the reality of things. Fact: research indicates that frequent exposure to explicit content online is linked to adolescents and young adults' distorted perceptions of consent, body image, and relationship dynamics. Think about it. If your only exposure to intimacy is through online content intended to be performative, you may very well end up thinking that is how real relationships are supposed to look and feel. In reality, intimacy is connection, communication, and mutual comfort, not an aesthetic or a performance. Now let's get it straight for some. These are the means of empowerment, the place where they can explore their identity and, if any, sexuality in a safe and liberating manner. Scores of creators use these spaces to self-express on their own terms, challenge stigma, and even educate others. On the other hand, constant exposure begets pressure to look a certain way, act a certain way, or engage in behaviors that don't actually align with personal comfort levels. It may lead to desensitization in that what once seemed exciting or intimate now feels routine or expected. Tip: pay attention to what you see and consume online and how it molds your expectations about intimacy and relationships. Not everything you are exposed to in those media is realistic, representative, or healthy for all. Critical thinking about media consumption is what will help you keep a balanced, authentic view on the topic of intimacy. So, what do you think? Do you believe social media and online content have changed the way people approach relationships today? Let's chat in the comments. And if you're enjoying this conversation, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because next we are diving into how social media has redefined commitment in the digital age. Stay tuned. Social media isn't only altering what we do, but it is also affecting the way in which we perceive ourselves. Every day we are bombarded with images of flawless beauty, idealized relationships, and hyper-sexualized content. The thing is, knowingly or not, the effect that it has on the way we view our desirability, self-worth, and even sexual confidence impacts our psyche. Fact: excessive social media use is thought to contribute to increasing anxiety about one's sexual desirability. Comparing one's apparently imperfect love life with others on the internet leads an individual to perceive something lacking in them and causes self-doubt or maybe even doubts about their real-life relationships. This psychological phenomenon is sometimes called comparison culture. It's easy to believe everyone else is living a more exciting, more passionate, or more desirable life when all we see are carefully curated images. And when we feel like we don't measure up, it can affect how we see ourselves, our confidence, and even our approach to relationships and intimacy. Fact: research has shown that exposure to long periods of edited, hyper-sexualized media can lead to lower self-esteem and a more excessive desire for various types of online validation. This can foster such patterns. Self-sexualization for validation. Many will be necessitated to post revealing or suggestive pictures just to feel sexy or worthy. Reliance on likes and comments in terms of worth equating digital validation with real-world desirability, feeling inferior compared to others. We think that what we see, supposedly being the standard which we should aim for. But here's the thing. Self-esteem is not measured by the number of likes, followers, or comments. Attraction, desirability, and confidence are not defined by the number of people that double-tap your picture. They say it is a result of things within. True experiences embracing who you really are, which you do not need social media to corroborate. Tip: if ever you feel that you are getting validation from online sites to be attractive, stop for a while. Ask yourself, am I doing this for myself or others? Would I feel the same thing without the likes and comments? Is social media carving my self-worth more than it should? Have you ever felt pressured to look or act a certain way because of social media? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if that is something on your mind, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications, because right after this, we are talking about how social media has rebranded commitment for the digital era. You wouldn't want to miss this. If that video got you thinking, then please don't be stingy with that. Like button, that's one sure way this discussion finds more eyeballs. If you are into human psychology, relationships, and social behaviors, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you never have to miss a deep dive like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.